Have you ever found yourself in a situation in life where you were just trying to move past something? Well, that's where I was when I had this encounter. I was trying to move past this relationship, and it was complicated. I mean, this was a love triangle that I never intended to put myself into. You see, a woman who was like a mother to me, her actual son, her blood son, used to be engaged to the woman that I had at that time as a girlfriend. Now, to be clear with you, I had no clue that any of these people knew each other. So imagine the scene when the holiday season rolls around and it's time for Christmas, and I'm excited, man. I'm absolutely over the moon excited. Pretty much my adopted mother to my girlfriend. Listen, I'm having a Christmas party at my house, spent the entire day decorating and getting things together. 50 people are coming over to the house. The party starts off without a hitch. Nothing goes wrong. About 8:45, I get a text message from my mom, and by mom, I do mean adopted mom, like a woman who just took you in like a son, saying that they're on their way. Understand, I get even more excited. A few minutes later, the doorbell rings. I open up the door, and it's her and her son. They come inside. Everything is cool. My girlfriend is off in the kitchen. Initially, everything is cool. I go back to the kitchen to talk to my girlfriend. About 5 minutes later, I noticed this look on her face. I'm talking to the men listening to the story right now. Now, you know when something's wrong with your woman. I mean, like, you can look at her physically and tell when something's wrong. She doesn't even have to say a word out of her mouth, but you can look at her eyes, look at her face, look at her body position, and know that something's wrong. That's where I find myself. I'm standing in the kitchen looking at my woman, realizing that there's something wrong. She's staring past me. And so my eyes follow her gaze, and it leads over to Grant. Pause right here, and let me say this. Grant is my adopted mother's son. She's staring at Grant. Grant is staring at her. And it's this look on her face. The look on her face is a look of surprise. The look on his face is this look of anger and disgust. Listen, at this moment in time, I don't know what type of history the two of them had, but in that moment, I know they had some type of history, because he makes a beeline. I'm talking about walking extremely aggressive, bumping into people. Now, I'm seeing this and I'm saying to myself, oh, hold up, little daddy, you're not going to be walking around up in here like you own this place. Sure enough, as soon as he crosses the threshold to the kitchen, he starts to say to my girlfriend, what are you doing here? I thought I told you I didn't want to see you again. Ladies, now pause again. Ladies, you can verify this for me. You see, depending on how a man treated you is how you react to that man. I've never seen fear in my woman's eyes because I never put her in a state of fear. But all of a sudden, I'm watching this fear roll across her face because Grant is talking to her, and I ain't gonna lie to you, as my brain is processing all of this, I'm not liking what I'm seeing because he's talking real aggressive. So I said, hold on, brother. Grant, how you doing? Let me introduce you to my girlfriend. And he looks at me and says, she's your girlfriend? And I said, yes, in fact, she lives in this house with me. Now remember, I described the look of anger and disgust on his face. That starts to triple at this point in time. Now he's really angry and really disgusted. He proceeds to fire off this volley of curse words and insults towards my woman. F you, you, boop, 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 boop. And as these words are leaving his mouth, I'm physically watching her reaction to it, coming to the realization that not only were they in a relationship, but they were in a relationship where he did this regularly. And it brought back to my memory what she told me about her ex. She just said that he was muscular and that he was verbally abusive and borderline physically abusive. Now, I hope you're keeping up with me in the story. And I know you're saying to yourself, man, what the hell all of this got to do with the Dogman or the Bigfoot? Just hold on a second. I'm telling you about me. And I need you to understand what I was going through. I'm telling you about me. Have you ever found yourself in a situation where time starts to slow down? Well, while all this is happening, everything is slowing down. I'm looking around the room and people are slowly starting to move in a direction, paying attention to this confrontation. And my brain starts to process this situation. Grant's mother is like my adopted mother. But if she raised Grant to behave this way, then that's technically her fault that her son is this type of man. So I'm trying to figure out and understand, I'm trying to rationalize how me fucking up Grant, and I'm listening to me, understand, I'm trying to rationalize how me fucking Grant's ass up is going to affect my relationship with her. And so my brain is going through the process of justifying what I'm about to do. And it didn't take a long time for me to justify it. I just wanted to be justified. And so when I realized that, okay, if she raised him to be this way, then it's her responsibility. Fuck it, I'm finna fuck Grant up. I don't know if you guys ever made skillet corn. It could be fresh corn, it could be count. Now, I'm not sure if you ever made skillet corn. It could be fresh corn that you cut off the cob, or it could be corn that came out of a can. But you cook it in a black skillet. You put some olive oil, you put some butter, you put some salt and some pepper. Right there on the stove was a skillet with the skillet. And as he takes another step towards my girlfriend, I reach over and grab that skillet and whack the shit out of him, bust him dead smack in his mouth. I know a lot of you listen to these stories and not used to blood and gore and violence, but I will say this to you: when human flesh gets hit with an iron skillet, it loses the fight every time. That boy face bust open, somebody dropped the watermelon. Blood gushing everywhere, and now I'm losing it, telling him, get your ass about my house, you and your stinking ass mama. That's the only thing I felt bad about with this situation. I didn't have to insult her because she's done a lot for me. Now fast forward. His mouth is gushing blood, his top two front teeth are bent inwards, and he's writhing in pain. People are trying to tend to him, and I'm pulling his ass out of my house. Blood is dripping all over the floor. Throw him out the front door. His mother goes outside. People are calling the police. It's going down around this bad boy. It done went completely ghetto, and it's going down. The ambulance pulls up. Listen, the boy's face just won't stop bleeding. He getting to the point where he's starting to lose too much blood. They call an ambulance. The ambulance comes out. The police come out. They do the report. Bada bing, bada boom. The party ends. I don't get arrested because this dude's trying to assault my woman inside of my house. Everybody goes away. It's about 1 a.m. and now it's just me and her. And we're sitting on the sofa talking. And she starts to explain to me more about her relationship with him, her relationship with his mom, and how his mom was a good woman, but she did everything she could do for him, but he was just one of those bad apples. Nothing she said or nothing she did would change him. So now my woman's tired. She goes upstairs, goes to bed, but I still have that adrenaline dump going on where you're just shaky and jittery. Not because I was afraid, but that's just how your body reacts when you get into a fight. Well, I go outside of the house to smoke a cigarette. Standing out on the front porch, smoking my cigarette. The Christmas lights are on the house, and now across the street from my house is nothing but woods. Talking about pitch black darkness, pure, just wood line. So I'm standing there smoking my cigarette when I see this bright light in the sky. And I'm not talking about like a helicopter light or airplane light. This was just this ball of light, and it was descending from the sky. And the lower it got, the bigger it got. Listen to me, I'm talking about light so bright that it's blinding to the eyes. It comes down low over the trees, and then it just blacks out. Gone. So now I'm standing outside of the house thinking to myself, okay, I just had to whoop this dude's ass. Is this a UFO? What the hell is going on out here? I'm thinking it may have been 13, 14 more minutes that I stayed out there, kind of chilling, relaxing, before I head inside, go upstairs, and prepare to go to bed. Now, once I'm upstairs inside of the house, our bedroom is towards the front of the house, and we have a window that faces the front of the house. That front of the house faces the woods, right? So I'm inside the house when the bright light returns. I mean, just this beam of light, like it's shining straight through the window. I look in the bed, my old lady's asleep, and so I go back downstairs and go outside. Looking up in the sky right now is where I'm going to sound like a freaking lunatic. And I'm fine with sounding like a lunatic. I'm just going to tell you what I saw. So, that bright light is in the sky. It's above the trees. It goes up above the trees and it shrinks down to size. It goes up above the trees and then it shrinks down in size. But then these other balls of white light start to emerge from the trees. And by the trees, I mean from the ground where the trees are. They're going up through the trees and into the air. The closest one to me was probably about 45 yards across the road. And I'm watching this bubble of light rise up into the sky, and there is a giant wolf inside of this bubble. It looks like a giant werewolf inside of this bubble, scratching and clawing at this bubble of light to get away. As I scan right to left, there's 8 more bubbles going into the air. I can't really see what's in them, but they're humanoid in shape and they're massive bubbles. This goes on. These things slowly rise up into the air to that bigger white bubble, and then it all disappears. Woof, just pure darkness. Now, I don't know if that means that cryptids come from UFOs. I don't have no clue what the hell it means. All I'm telling you is this. That's what I saw. And I just wanted somebody to hear about it.